Welcome to the Learning Can't Wait podcast, a Full Mind production. At Full Mind, our vision is to ensure every child has access to an exceptional education. Each episode, we will be joined by pathfinders within and around the education space who are bringing about transformational change on behalf of deserving students. I am your host, Hayley Spira-Bauer. Hey, Kobe, my name is Hayley. It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Is this your first time on a podcast?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I could tell you were excited. You were talking about it next to Kaden. So I can keep talking. Why are you excited today?
I'm excited because I always wanted to be on a podcast.
Okay. Well, do you have a unique perspective you want to share? Like, what do you want to tell the world?
I don't know what I want to tell the world. I just want to be more positivity, spread positivity.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome. Especially as you're in eighth grade, right?
Yeah.
I taught eighth grade before. I know not every eighth grader feels positive all the time. Where do you bring your positivity? Where does it come from? Is it a person in your life who has taught you to be positive, or does it just come from within?
Yeah, it comes from my family. Like being positive is a major of my family.
How does that look? Like, do your family members encourage you a lot? Like, give me some examples of what that positivity looks like.
Yeah, my family members encourage me a lot, especially my brother. My brother encourages me a lot. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds so supportive.
Yeah.
Hey, Kobe, how, you're now in eighth grade. Next year, you're going to high school. How have you changed since you entered middle school?
I changed a lot. I'm more mature now than I was in sixth grade.
Yeah, and how do you think about the lifestyle fair? Could you have done this lifestyle fair in the beginning of middle school? Would you have been mentally ready for it?
No, I wouldn't have been mentally ready for it because I was very immature in sixth grade, but now I'm very mature.
And what did your assessment results show? Like the bracelet you have, what does it tell you?
It says competitor, thrill seeker, and
Innovator. Very cool. Well, I feel like they need to make a special one for you that says positivity, right? That's what you led with. Kobe, I have one more question for you, which I'm asking every kid, which is, if you could give advice to a middle school starting their career today, what advice would you give them?
Advice I would give them, just be more mature and stop being childish. That's what I would give them. Don't try to be a thrill seeker. Just try to be yourself. Be yourself. That's what I would say.
That's so cool. I love that. Kobe, thank you so much for being on the Learning Can't Wait podcast.
Thank you.
Hey, Matthew. My name is Hayley. It's so nice to meet you. So Matthew, is this your first time on a podcast?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Tell me a little bit about how you think your education is preparing you for the future at your middle school.
How to interact with people.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Like how to present myself in front of crowds.
I know there's a term called code switching, which is how you talk when you're with a certain population versus another. Is that something you feel like you've gotten good at?
Oh, yeah.
So when you're talking with me right now, I'm a teacher. I'm a grown up. You're talking differently than you might talk to Kobe or Kaden when they're sitting next to you. That's an important life skill. That's really big. What would you say is the hardest part of middle school, Matthew? Yeah. What do you do? What do you do when you hear a rumor about somebody else? Ignore it. I have an 8-year-old son, and this is a constant conversation because I know he'll be in middle school before I even blink my eye. And it's probably really hard to ignore it. Is there somebody in your life that has influenced you positively to help you have the right headspace about handling rumors, being mature? Do you have like a mentor or someone you look up to?
My counselor this quarterly.
Oh, what does she do that makes makes her life better?
Like she'll like calm me down like when I'm mad about stuff.
That's really
Calm.
Do you feel like you use those strategies that your counselor taught you when she's not around?
Yeah.
That's so big.
Like deep breaths and having like a swishy, like a stress ball, or listening to music.
I work all day with a fidget in my hand. And when I'm frustrated, my fidget is spinning. Okay, last question for you, Matthew. What advice would you give a middle schooler who's just starting 6th grade?
To be their self and not try to fit in with them.
Hi, Keon. How you doing this morning? How's the lifestyle fair going? Can you tell me what your assessment results were on your bracelet?
Competitors.
Do you do anything outside of school that requires you to be a competitor?
I do track.
You run track. Do you run?
Yes.
And you have to be a fierce competitor, right? I have another question for you, Kian. Do you have anybody that you look up to in your life, any adult in school who inspires you? You do? Why do they inspire you?
They help me out.
They help you out. Do you think that you inspire anyone around you? Now, I have one more question for you. What advice would you give a middle schooler who's just entering 6th grade? Okay. Can you hand the headphones to your friend? It was so nice to meet you. Hi, Logan. My name is Hayley. Have you ever been on a podcast before? No? Okay, Logan, I'm going to need you to talk so loud into the microphone in front of you, okay?
Okay.
All right, Logan, tell me, what did your lifestyle assessment results tell you on your bracelet?
It says competitor.
Competitor, does that feel accurate? Does that feel right?
Yes.
Tell me about something in your life in which you act like a competitor.
When I play basketball,
You play basketball. Okay, tell me about your team. What do you love about your basketball team?
we play as a team, and we know how to like share the ball and make good plays.
Do you feel like you've learned something in basketball that's a good lesson that you apply to school?
To be more confident.
Is that easy or hard to do, Logan?
It's like in the middle.
In the middle. Tell me about Logan at school. What's your favorite subject?
Algebra. I take algebra.
You take algebra in 8th grade?
Yes.
Very cool. Is your teacher an excellent teacher?
Yes.
What makes your algebra teacher so excellent?
She just makes everything make more sense.
When you're learning a subject like algebra, how do you learn best? Do you learn best in the class or do you learn best by yourself?
Probably by myself because she's like more focused on this thing.
More focused on you. Logan, tell me about your friends and how they make you a better person.
They're nice. Yeah. They do things that make me feel better, like make me feel good about myself. Lift me up.
That's very cool. All right, I have another question for you, Logan, which is about technology. Have you ever taken any classes at school on the computer, online? No classes. And do you use a computer out of school at all for your homework?
No.
Okay. One more question for you, Logan. If you could give advice to a middle schooler who's just starting 6th grade, what advice would you give them?
Stay confident and try your best at everything you do.
Logan, this is your first podcast. You've done a phenomenal job. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Trinity, it's so nice to meet you. I'm Hayley.
Nice to meet you.
Trinity, how is the lifestyle fair so far?
It's super fun and it's like cool to see like all the things.
Tell me about, you had one session before you came to my booth. What session did you have? What booth did you go to? Okay, and what did they talk about at that booth?
They talked about, like, we watched a video and they talked about how students like it better when they can like learn like for
Is that true for you?
yeah.
What's your favorite way to learn? Like if you had a choice, what would your school day look like?
Um, no, really.
Would you have a lot of big classes, lots of kids and friends? Would you have small classes?
Yeah, I'll probably have small classes that help me study, like
Yeah. What's your favorite subject in school, Trinity?
math.
Math. And what did your results of your lifestyle assessment say?
I got entrepreneur, creator, and analyzer.
Interesting. Are those surprising to you, or is that what you expected to get?
Not at all.
What does it mean to be an entrepreneur? Do you have some insight into that?
Like make your own business.
Yeah, and think of ideas. And have you ever made a business before, Trinity?
No.
No. Do you have any good ideas to start a business?
No.
Well, I heard that the best way to start a business is to think of a problem that you wish you could solve. And then you think of an idea to solve it. So the best way to be an entrepreneur, I've heard, is actually just to look for problems, not necessarily look for answers.
Oh yeah.
Seems like easier to do, right?
Yeah.
My big problem is I wish somebody would come here and do all my laundry for me. Fold it, put it away. I don't have an answer to that yet. Trinity, I have one final question for you. What advice would you give a middle schooler who is starting 6th grade today?
To be your own person. Don't be who everyone else is.
Yeah, that's really cool. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast, Trinity.
You're welcome.
Andrea, so nice to meet you. My name is Hayley.
Nice to meet you. Oh, your name's Hayley?
Yes.
My younger sister's name is Hayley.
How does she spell it?
How she spells it is Hayley.
Okay, I spell it Hayley. I love that you have a sister named Hayley. She must be awesome.
She is definitely awesome. I love her a lot.
Tell me about her. What do you love about her, Alexandria?
Well, I guess I like how I don't know, I just love everything about her. She's very fun to be around, and she also likes drawing with me, and I like drawing with her. It's nice, and we get to chit chat a little bit, but I don't really like talking while drawing, but it's fine. We also play games together.
Oh, I love that. Do you consider yourself an artist?
I mean, I'm not really sure. I want to be, but I still have a lot of setbacks. I'm not always sure if I want to draw. Yeah.
If you consider yourself an artist, you're an artist. There's no test to take to tell you have to be an artist.
Thank you. That's very nice to say.
Of course. Well, you did take a test. You took the assessment for the lifestyle here. What did your bracelet say?
Well, my bracelet say leader, analyzer, and organizer.
Leader, analyzer, and organizer. Can you tell me a place in your life where you consider yourself a leader?
Do I consider myself a leader?
Yeah, like if you got leader, is there other than maybe with your sister? Is there somewhere else that you act like a leader?
I'm not really sure because I'm a bit of an introvert and I'm kind of shy, so I'm not exactly sure about that. I don't know.
Alexandria, I have to tell you another piece of advice.
Yeah.
Some of the best leaders are introverts. The loudest person in the room, I'm very loud. The loudest person in the room is not necessarily the smartest. Usually it's the person who's listening the most.
I think my mama said some things similar to that as well.
Do you have any teachers that you look up to that are quieter and maybe a little bit shyer?
No, most of the things that I look up to is my mother. She's a very strong, independent woman.
That is an amazing role model to have. I hope you tell her all the time that she's awesome. Alexandria, I have one final question for you.
Yeah.
If you could give advice to a 6th grader starting middle school, what advice would you give them?
I would give them would be, it's okay to make a mistake. Everybody does. Just chill out and have fun.
You have been such a delight. I am so grateful I met you today, Alexandra. Thanks for coming on the Learning Can't Wait podcast.
Thank you. It was very nice to meet you as well.
Bella, it is so nice to meet you. You're doing great. I can hear you perfectly. Just keep your voice nice and loud, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
How's the lifestyle here so far, Bella?
It's pretty great. I've met some really nice people. I feel like there are some things that I'm like interested in, but I feel like my interests are like not. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I'm more into like psychology stuff. I haven't really seen anything connected to that. So.
You know, Bella, I studied psychology in college. I studied psychology specifically under the creator of positive psychology. His name is Dr. Martin Seligman, and he talks about how if you look for positive and you frame things as positive, it helps to encourage and motivate people.
Yeah.
What kind of psychology studying or interests do you have today? Like, how are you using that in your life?
I personally struggle with my mental health sometimes, and I just want to study deeper on how humans like act and stuff. Yeah. And how
Well, first of all, thank you so much for sharing that information with me and trusting me. Mental health issues are so serious, and more than a quarter of the population struggle with them. So you're not alone.
Yeah.
I love that you're trying to turn lemons into lemonade and you want to study it. Are there any courses in high school where you can study psychology?
Unfortunately, I don't really think so, but I want to talk to people who like plan this type of stuff, make classes and such. I want to see if they can possibly get more psychology stuff, you know?
I love that self-advocacy. You know, I actually work for an online education company. Have you ever considered taking classes online?
No, not really. I basically do everything in person.
You're so self-motivated. I bet if you told your school you wanted to study psychology in high school and they didn't have a course, they could probably find an online teacher to teach you.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, now you met me, so you know it's possible.
Yeah.
Bella, do you have any questions for me?
No, not really.
Okay, well, I have one final question for you.
Okay.
What advice would you give a middle schooler who's just starting sixth grade?
What advice would I give to a middle schooler who's like got
Who's just starting sixth grade?
Okay, I would tell them to don't try to be friends with the wrong people. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of kids who become friends with the wrong people who are often like troublemakers and they do things for popularity. I think they should focus on themselves and their education so they can have a brighter future.
That is such thoughtful advice, Bella. I appreciate you brought your whole self to our conversation. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. Jace, that's my brother-in-law's name. We have an Uncle Jace, and he's the most popular person in my family. Tell me about the Jace that I have on the screen. What are you like? What are your interests?
I'm pretty popular. I like sports a lot. I play baseball. I like to talk a lot. I'm a popular person.
Okay. Well, you know, I always ask my kids, I have two boys, and they say, this is popular or that's popular. What does popular mean to you?
Like, I like to talk to people and I'm not really scared to I'll go to a random person to say hi. I can be friends with anyone. Really.
Do you think that there's something related to being kind or thoughtful in being popular?
Yes, definitely.
Because would a person who is rude or unkind be popular in your opinion? No.
They can't be popular if they're not nice to people because they like them.
Yeah. Tell me about that sticker on your face. What is that?
I got it. I put it on my face. I was like, I just wanted to be like that. I don't really ask for
Really
it.
making a statement here, Jace. What do your bracelets say from the lifestyle fair? Now I'm really curious now that I know a little bit about you.
Analyzer, competitor, and entrepreneur.
Wow, those are some interesting. So you play a sport. Would you say you're competitive?
Yes, very.
All right, tell me about your favorite coach that you've ever had. What makes them awesome?
Probably my baseball coach, Coach Hunt, because he didn't yell at people when anyone made errors. Like he picked everyone up. He's just like a good coach that he knew what he was doing and everything. He's just a good coach.
All right, now I'm going to talk about a different kind of coach, which is a teacher. Is your favorite teacher similar to your favorite coach? Meaning they help people when they make errors and they don't yell at them? Or is your favorite teacher different?
I think our teachers a little bit more strict, bit more rules in school, but I think they're still like very nice and still picking people up and don't like they'll still help them in the Olympics.
Do you, Jace, use technology outside of school? Do you use a computer at night?
I play on my Xbox and I have my phone.
What do you use? Do you use your phone for school at all or just for personal?
Just
Personal. Got it. All right, Jace, I have one final question for you. What advice would you give a sixth grader starting middle school right now?
don't be nervous. You're gonna get like you can get like you're gonna get used to the school and just try to make friends. That's what I would say. When I made friends, I was a lot more comfortable. Like it.
That's great advice, Jace. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
You're welcome.
Hey, what's your name?
My name is Noah.
Noah. And Noah, what grade are you in?
8.
8th grade. Very cool. Wait, you have your own podcast?
Yeah, with a friend.
Tell me all about it.
So, we only have like 1 or 2 episodes because I only started last month. But it's about sports, and we've just been talking about the NFL draft and stuff.
That is so cool. Also, 2 episodes in a month is very impressive. Don't downplay that. Starting a podcast is hard. What's the title of your podcast?
It's called Backyard Ballers because we used to be neighbors, but he moved to Virginia, but I've been staying in touch with him for the last couple years.
Noah, is that hard that your neighbor, who was obviously a good friend, moved to another state?
It was at first, but we kind of got used to it. Sometimes we visit him because my brother was born in Virginia, so we go there sometimes and we'll like visit him.
Wow. And it sounds like the podcast is bringing you back together.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what are your thoughts on the NFL draft?
Well, I think it wasn't very good.
Tell me why you think that.
So I think Caleb Williams is going to be a bust because he's kind of weird, and there were just way too many quarterbacks drafted, and the quarterback class wasn't even very good.
Okay, so you're obviously talking about that on your podcast with your friend in Backyard Ballers. Do you think you might have a career in podcasting?
Maybe. I think it's more of a casual thing, but
this isn't my full-time job. I podcast as part of a bigger job that I have.
Yeah.
What did your assessments results say for the lifestyle fair?
I think I'm a competitor and creator.
That sounds super accurate from the things I know about you already.
Thank you.
What tell me about Noah at school. What's your favorite subject in school, Noah?
Probably math.
Math. What do you like about it?
I feel like you can self-check yourself because I've been doing algebra for the last like 2 years, and you just know if it works or not. So it's kind of like 100% skill because you can know when you're wrong.
You know, it's funny you say that. I taught elementary and middle school when I was still in the school building. And I always liked teaching math because there's the right answer. And so to your point, I'm having trouble, Noah, getting my 8-year-old son, his name's Owen. He loves football just like you. I'm having trouble getting my 8-year-old son to check his work. Do you have any advice I could give him?
Honestly, no.
No advice? Okay, last question for you. What booth at the lifestyle fair are you most excited to see?
I've seen pretty much most of it, but I think my favorite thing was the VR flight simulator.
I heard that was very cool. Tell me a little bit about what it looked like.
You were like in the seat and you had on your right, you had like a throttle and it had a button that would launch missiles and stuff. And you could just pull the throttle and go up and down and spin in barrel rolls and stuff.
Wow. It sounds like there's a lot to look at the lifestyle fair today. Do you think you'll remember this event for years to come?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Did you just get there or are you leaving soon?
I think I might leave soon.
Okay.
So,
and you're headed back to school and hopefully you have algebra because that's your favorite subject.
Yeah. I got here at 8 because my mom is like part of this thing.
Yeah, I heard.
But my school isn't going here, so I'm just out of school. So
good for you. Noah, do you have any questions for me since you host a podcast and I host a podcast?
Well, yeah, I kind of do. Like, how do you like edit it? Do you have like an intro or?
That's a great question. So I have a song and I have an intro that I separately recorded. I actually personally don't edit it anymore. One of my coworkers edits it, but we could use, do you have an Apple device or a PC at home?
Yeah, I have an iPhone.
Yeah, so we use like GarageBand to edit. It's very easy to use GarageBand, and you can overlay the audio, the intro, and also the music before the episode starts. And then the episode plays, and I also have an outro. So I say like, thank you so much for tuning in to the Learning Can't Wait podcast. Please like, subscribe, and listen every week when we release new episodes. If you have recommendations for a guest, please email podcast@fullmindlearning.com. That's about what my outro sounds like. Because I always have guests on my podcast. I don't talk with like a friend. I'm always interviewing guests. Have you ever had a guest on your podcast or not yet?
No, not yet. But I think we're gonna add my brother Jacob to one of the podcasts, and we're gonna like draft the best players for if you had to have players as bodyguards.
That is such a great question. Noah, that is such a great question. I'm now thinking, how could I adapt that question today when I meet all the other 8th graders? Thanks for giving me something to think about.
Yeah, I just thought it would be funny and just fun to talk about.
Well, what would your answer be?
I think my first one would probably be Miles Garrett.
Okay, why is that? Why would you pick him?
Because he's kind of crazy, but he's also really strong.
You know who I would pick?
Who?
I would pick the retired player, Jason Kelsey, because Jason has such a good sense of humor that I think if someone was going to have to be my bodyguard and follow me around all the time, I'd want to laugh with them. And Jason makes people laugh. So I would pick Jason Kelsey.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I wrote down like my top 5, and I had a guy named Ted Karras. He's the Bengals center, and he's also really funny.
Oh, really? My 5-year-old's favorite team is the Bengals because he's obsessed with like tigers and lions. So he picked the Bengals as his favorite team. This year, Noah, my boys and I and my husband, we got to go to a Jets game and go on the field because I raised money for a charity, and they honored me at the game. And so my older son, who's obsessed with football, he's the 8-year-old, he was so excited to be on the field and be able to see the players up close and to like brush shoulders with them. Have you ever been to a NFL game before?
Yeah, my dad bought season tickets a couple years ago.
And what team is it? Sorry, I don't even know.
I'm a Bengals fan.
Oh, you
I'm
are?
from Cincinnati, so like.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, Noah, it has been so great to talk to you. If you ever want to come on my podcast in a longer version where I could ask you questions about school, let me know.
Thank you.
Hi, Brianna. My name is Hayley. It's so nice to meet you.
It's good to meet you too.
Brianna, have you ever been on a podcast before?
No,
So you don't know what to expect?
no.
Well, I do this as part of my job, but I'm a former teacher and I'm just asking students questions about themselves and school. So my first question is super easy, Brianna. What's your favorite subject in school?
Math,
Math? Why do you like math?
because it's easy.
It's easy. How often do you use technology in your math class?
Every day.
What kind of technology do you use?
The computer, calculators.
Yeah, for sure. And do you use technology in other classes throughout the day?
Yes.
What other subjects?
Social studies, science, like all of them.
Yeah. Do you feel like if you were designing a school, you would integrate technology throughout the day, or would you remove it?
I would remove it because people have bad eyesight.
People have bad eyesight?
Yeah, so I would remove it.
You'd remove it. Okay. Brianna, tell me about yourself outside of school. Do you do any activities in addition to the school day?
Not really.
What do you do when you're not in school? When the school day ends at 3 o'clock, where do you find Brianna?
I go home. That's it. I don't do anything when I'm home.
Do you read? Do you watch TV? Do you play on your phone? Like, what do you do?
I watch TikTok in my bed. Sometimes I draw.
Well, here's a question for you. Do you feel like TikTok provides you news about the world?
Yes.
And how accurate do you think that news is?
Probably not very accurate.
I'm on TikTok too. It's interesting though, because the feed curates information based on how long you spend on places. Brianna, my final question for you. You're ending your middle school career this year and headed to high school, right? What advice would you give a 6th grader who's just starting middle school so they could be successful?
I would say to not be in as much drama and definitely stick to yourself, because the second you get into drama is the second like everything goes downhill.
That's the truth. Brianna, it was so nice to meet you. Can you give your headphones to your friend next to you?
Yeah.
Hi, Lisa. My name is Hayley. It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Have you ever been on a podcast before?
Never.
All right. Well, I'm just here to ask you questions and learn about you as a student. How's the lifestyle fair so far?
It's really great. It's really interesting here. There's a lot of new people and a lot of new faces to see, and I'm like, it's just really fun walking around here and seeing all these different lifestyles that people have chose and are trying to show us.
When you took the assessment, did you think you knew what kind of lifestyle you would get? Or were
Not
you
exactly. I'm just like a go with the flow kind of person. I don't exactly know what I want, and I just like to kind of learn as I go along.
Do you think you have to know when you're in 8th grade what you want to be in the future and what lifestyle you want to pursue?
Not exactly, because I don't exactly know what I want to be. I have some ideas. I really want to be a vet because I really like animals, and I'm more of like an animal person. But then again, I also really like my teacher who's an ELA, so I really think being an ELA teacher would be something.
I taught ELA. I also taught elementary school. It's cool to
I
have.
love ELA teachers. They're like just so amazing. Like every ELA teacher that I've had, it's been amazing.
Wow, that's so powerful. So what do you like to read? Do you like to write? Do you like
I
books?
love to read, and I'm really good at writing. I think I'm going to take honors next year. So
Okay, what are you reading right now?
right now, I'm reading a dystopian book called it's in the Unwind series. It's called Unruly.
You know, it's been a while since I've read a dystopian young adult book, but when I was a teacher, I read them all the time. So I
love
when,
dystopia.
me too. I was teaching when Hunger Games came out,
I
and
love the Hunger Games. Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
yeah, it's such a good series. So you see yourself as someone who could be pursuing paths in education, veterinary. Talk to me a little bit about what you do outside of school when you're not studying.
When I get outside of school, I just generally I like to read and I like to draw. I love my horses. I have a bunch of horses at home. We have a lot of animals. I definitely really like to connect with my animals, and I love to just kind of like imagine myself when I'm in my books as the main character because it's really interesting to me.
That's the beauty of reading, right?
Exactly.
All right, Lisa, I have a question.
Picture yourself in it.
Yes, and then you fall in love with characters and you can't forget them.
Exactly.
They live with you forever. Lisa, how much technology do you use when you're at home? I hear that you're reading, I hear that you're with animals, but you're also a sixth grader. Tell me about your technology use.
I generally need about 3 hours a day. Usually that's me on Pinterest looking at ideas and just kind of like watching videos that kind of make me laugh. It just really excites me to be able to find things that kind of inspire me to go through like my drawings and things like that.
Wow, Lisa, you're such a breath of fresh air. You have so much positive energy about the things that you love. What advice, this is my last question for you. What advice would you give a sixth grader who's just starting middle school?
I would say not to stress that much and to kind of just, it's kind of like really high anxiety. So just try and relax and just try not to think too much about what other people think of you and just find people that definitely care about you because that's all that matters.
I couldn't have said that better myself. Lisa, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the lifestyle fair.
Thank you.
Bye. Hi, Allie. It's so nice to meet you.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
All right, so you came to this lifestyle fair. Is it what you expected or is it completely surprising you?
It's a lot more than I expected. I didn't really know how I thought it was going to be, but I thought it was kind of going to be boring, honestly. I thought it was kind of going to be like see a speaker because they told us we were going to see a speaker, and then like get some papers, you know, fill them out, and just kind of explore, but not as hands-on as this is.
That is so cool. I bet you the organizers of the lifestyle fair will be happy to hear that. What are your assessment bracelets? What results did you get?
I have connector, creator, and entertainer.
Oh, so you got a big personality like me. How does that show up in your everyday life?
I love making different things. Just exploring with stuff, taking stuff apart, whether it's just like your average ink pen or maybe a computer that doesn't work. I love, taking them apart, trying to see if I can put them back together, even though I fail at that a lot and tend to not be able to put them back together. I love to know how stuff works. And I love making people laugh. I'm very extroverted. I like hanging with people, hanging with friends, family, all that good stuff.
Well, I want to go back to something you said about failing, not putting things together the right way. You know that failure is the best part of learning, right? If you don't figure out what doesn't go well, how else are you
very true.
Right, that's how you learn. Do you know when you get sick, what did the doctor give you? When you get sick, let's say you have strep throat, what's the doctor give you? Medicine. And the drug that we take when we're sick, antibiotics, were a complete accident. There was a scientist in a lab who messed up and created this medication that now we all rely on to stay healthy. That sounds like you. Somebody,
That is so cool.
right? It's someone who's curious about the world and studying. That's amazing that you have that kind of interest. I bet you're going to do something with that in the future.
I would surely hope so. I would love to go into the medical field and study neurology, like how the brain works. Because, like, well, let me think, 2 years ago, I got a concussion, and then I had to wear glasses because it, like, messed with my eyes. And I was always curious of, like, how did, like, the brain getting hurt in the brain affect my vision, being able to see and learn and do all that.
I studied exactly that in college.
Really?
I studied cognitive neuroscience. It was my favorite course when I went to college. And I don't practice medicine now. I'm actually a teacher. But it does inform you. Like when you think about when you're angry, did you know that only part of your brain works when you're very elevated and angry?
That would make sense. Like, I didn't know that. That makes sense because, like, it's like when you're angry, you don't think about your actions very much. You just react.
That's right. I have an 8-year-old son who gets angry all the time. And I tell him that. I say, your only part of your brain is working. So when you're calm and you're ready for all your brain parts to work, we can talk about what happened. But you would get to learn that if you studied brain science.
Yes, I would love to study brain science. It's so cool to me.
It is so cool to me too, Allie.
Yeah, how your body just works off of this one single organ that's like maybe a little bit bigger than your fist. Like it's crazy.
You also said that you like to make people laugh. I bet it'd be really cool to study what your brain looks like when somebody's making you laugh.
It would. All the
studied that
neurons.
before. Yeah, all the
never know. Yeah.
Right? All right, Allie, I have one more question for you, even though I feel like I could talk to you all day. What advice would you give a 6th grader who's just starting middle school?
Oh, I would definitely tell them, like, it's not as scary as you think. I feel like people depict it a lot as being like so scary. People are mean. Everybody pressures you into doing stuff. It's really not like that. It's so fun. You get so many more freedoms. Like now in 8th grade, I get to go to Washington, D.C. I'm coming to this career fair. I've been to the Air Force Museum now twice. And you get to study so much more stuff, so many more things that you never think about in your elementary and primary schools. Things that you're actually curious in. You get to build stuff. It's so fun. And it's so much better than many people depict it to.
Allie, that is amazing advice. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Thank you so much. You're awesome. Thank you.
You're awesome. Hey, Macy, is that how you say your name?
Yeah.
Your favorite subject in school?
ELA.
What do you like about ELA? Okay, what are you reading right now? I love to read and I love suggestions.
It's called the site. It's really good.
Okay, I'll have to write that one down. Tell me about when you're not in school, Macy. What do you like to do for fun?
I like playing soccer.
All soccer players. All soccer players. Do you feel like playing soccer, has taught you anything about you as a person?
Like, yeah, I learned I'm like a very competitive person and that I like enjoy being outside.
Do you feel like playing sports has any impact on your school? Like how you perform at school? Does it impact that at all?
No, I don't think so.
Tell me something about you as a soccer player and with your coach. What does your coach do that makes you feel supported?
She's always like teaching me like new things and correcting me a lot, which I love that.
Really cool. And tell me about your bracelets, the assessment bracelets you have. What did it tell you?
Skill seeker, explorer, and competitive.
Well, that sounds not too surprising given that you're a competitor. What booths are you really excited to stop by today?
Oh, the bike one, that was really fun, but that's what I was like looking forward to the most.
What is the bike booth?
So it's like a bike, but the handlebars are like reversed. So if you go left, you're really going right, and it was really hard.
It's really hard. I have one more question for you, Mason. You're going to high school next year. What advice would you give a sixth grader who's just starting middle school?
About it, don't be nervous because that would just like if you're nervous, then you're not gonna have fun, and then just like enjoy.
Great advice. Macy, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Yeah.
Is it Arjun? Is it
Yeah,
Arjun?
Arjun, yeah.
Arjun, thank you for pronouncing it for me so I could say your name correctly. Names are important. Do you know how you got your name?
I don't know. Just my dad. Yeah. I don't know. My dad's like.
Okay,
really
so
know.
the reason I ask is because that's a question that we talk about a lot as adults. Like, where did your name come from? My name, the first letter of my name was my grandma's first letter, and I never met her. And so that's how they picked my name. Arjun, tell me about yourself. Like, what do you like to do outside of school? What's your favorite subject? Give me the download.
So I just play a bunch of sports, and
What sports
play
you play, Arjun?
football, baseball, and basketball.
All right, that is a lot of sports.
My favorite subject is math.
Your favorite subject is math. Are there adults in your building who help you become a better kid, a better student, a better learner?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. What do they do that shows you they care about you?
You know, pull me aside, maybe just talk to me about what to do and stuff like that.
Is middle school hard or easy?
For the most part, easy. I'd say so.
Easy. And tell me something, Arjun. When what did your bracelet say? What did your bracelet say that of the assessments that you have?
I got competitor, connector, and creator.
Did that surprise you?
Not really.
No. So what are you looking for today at the fair? What booths do you want to go to talk to people?
I don't really know, not anything specific.
Okay. Arjun, I have one more question for you. You're about to enter high school, but there's a bunch of kids about to come to middle school. What advice would you give sixth graders who are just starting middle school in the fall?
Just pay attention, don't be too dumb. That's about it.
All right, Arjun, thank you so much for sitting down with me. Can you hand your headphones to the child next to you? Hey, Ethan. Ethan, how's the day going so far? I hear it's very chaotic and busy over there.
Yeah, very chaotic. A lot of people, a lot of schools. It's okay though.
What's it like
Fine.
being around this many students? Do you know the other kids or are they total strangers to you?
Total strangers.
And have you been talking to the total strangers or are you mostly talking to the grown-ups at the booth?
Basically just talking to anybody that goes to my school. Not
Okay.
really anybody else.
Well, tell me something, Ethan. When you meet a stranger, meaning an adult or a child, like not on the street, but in this fair, how do you get to know them? Like, what are some questions or ways that you connect with other people?
Like asking about what they like doing, some of their interests, how they are as a person, things like that.
That's a great set of questions to get to know somebody. So what are some of your interests, Ethan? What do you like to do?
I love music. I'm doing marching band next year, so that's a big interest for me.
Very cool. What do you play an instrument?
Yeah,
What instrument do you play?
I play drum line, like snare, stuff like that.
So I have two boys and my older one is in second grade and we just had their musical showcase, their end of year. And there was a first grader, I think he was a first grader, played the drums and played, like jammed out for 20 minutes. And my son stood there like this. I think drumming takes so much focus. How often do you practice?
Like probably 15 minutes every day.
15 minutes every day. And do you have a drum set at home?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Is it like, does it make a lot of noise in your house or do you go for
I just use the muffs that I use for mowing the lawn because I'm a pretty hard hitter.
My parents wanted to buy some drums for my son, the one who was excited about the drums. And I said, they're gonna have to go very far away. So they don't make so much noise in the
Yeah.
house. Tell me about, do you like to edit the music you make or you just like to jam out?
I don't make any. I just play along to different songs and stuff.
Okay. Very cool. Ethan, what advice would you give a middle schooler who's about to start their middle school career? So a rising sixth grader, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that middle school matters more than people think it does. It's like how you're gonna be going into high school.
Yeah, that's really good advice, Ethan. I'm so glad you sat down with me today. Thank you for joining the podcast.
Thank you.
Zachary, it's really nice to meet you.
It's Zakor.
Zakor, I'm so sorry. Is it Zakori or Zakor?
Zakor.
Zakor, so nice to meet you. Tell me about the life.
It's Zakor.
Say that again.
Zakor.
Can you say it one more time slowly?
Zakor.
Okay, cool. That is so helpful for me. I appreciate it. Names are super important to me, so I appreciate you taking the time to explain it. Tell me how the lifestyle fair has been for you so far.
It's been pretty good. This is my second thing for today. I just did the other podcast thing, but other than that, it's been pretty good.
You were already on another podcast? What did you talk about?
We didn't really talk about anything. We just rapped.
Okay. Well, is that something you like to do outside of school? Tell me about your interests when you're not in school.
I kind of play video games, kind of make music just a bit, but not really.
It sounds like you really like to use technology, right? Video games, technology. What kind of technology do you use during the school day?
My computer.
Do you feel like you are super comfortable using a computer?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. I have a question for you. If you were giving advice to a student who is entering sixth grade next year, what advice would you give them?
Don't let people change you or else stay to yourself. And it doesn't matter what people think.
Have you changed a lot in middle school or no? Yeah. What were you like as a sixth grader and what do you like as an eighth grader?
In sixth grade, I was kind of like a class of how I was getting something. And in eighth grade, I just started realizing that it's not always
It's funny, you know, there's been a bunch of kids who have said something similar today. It sounds like y'all really grew up in middle school. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. You say it, is it Alina?
Yeah.
Alina, it's so nice to meet you. Thanks for coming to sit down with me. How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So listen, we had some technical difficulties. That happens on a podcast sometimes. Does that ever happen to your teacher where they're trying to show you something? Are you the person who solves it for them? No. Do you consider yourself savvy?
Yeah.
You do? What kind of technology do you use at home and at school?
Chromebook.
And when you're at home and or at school and you're using your Chromebook, do you ever use artificial intelligence like ChatGPT?
No.
No. Okay. What kind of things do you like to do outside of school, Elena?
I have a sport. I run track.
Cool. And do you have friends that run track too?
Yeah.
How has track brought you together with your friends? Like, does it make you closer?
Yeah.
Elena, what's your favorite subject in school?
Social studies.
Ooh, you're the first person who said that today. Why do you like social studies?
I don't know. I just kind of love learning about law and stuff.
I love that. I love that. What social studies class are you taking right now?
Just regular eighth grade.
Eighth grade. Okay, cool.
And then freshman, I take honors.
That's so cool. I loved social studies in school also. I love learning about different cultures and people and history throughout the time. Elena, I have one final question for you. You're about to go to high school. What advice would you give a person who's starting middle school?
try your best, and it's okay if you fail. Just get back up and try again.
That is great advice, Elena. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
Hi, Maggie. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
How's the lifestyle fair going so far? And make sure when you respond that you like sit closer to the mic.
It's pretty cool. There's a lot of different things here.
Yeah, what did your lifestyle assessment bracelet say? Like, what did you get?
I got entertainer and connector.
Is that surprising to you or you expected it?
Not really, because I don't really like talking to a bunch of people. So the entertainer one was a little interesting.
Can you think of ways that maybe you entertain that don't involve talking?
Well, I play orchestra, so maybe that.
You play an instrument, you said?
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely entertainment. Talk to me about the people in your life who make you feel special and important. Can you think of any adults or other peers that make you feel special and important?
Probably my really close friends and my parents.
What do they do that makes you feel special and important?
Whenever I have academic things or sports events, they always come to them and support me.
That's so lovely. Can you think of any adults at school who have been really supportive of you throughout your middle school career?
Probably my history teacher. He always encourages us to keep playing and
That's great. Tell me one thing you're looking forward to doing before middle school is over.
Going to Washington D.C. in less than a week, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's really cool. When I was a middle school teacher, we took our 8th graders to Washington D.C. also. Are you going to visit the monuments?
Yeah, that's what we do.
Awesome. Maggie, what advice would you give a 6th grader who's about to start middle school?
Be nice to everyone and try to make a lot of friends.
Maggie, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
All right, thank you.
Charlotte, my name is Hayley. How's the lifestyle fair going so far?
Good.
What's your bracelet say? What did you get as your assessment results?
I have innovator, maker, and creator.
Those are cool. They're all very similar. All right, so tell me about Charlotte at school. How do those lifestyle results connect to who you are as a student?
I take a lot of honors classes and I take Spanish, the grade up, but I do a lot of sports too, so I'm pretty active.
Sounds like you're very well-rounded. I'm curious because your schedule sounds quite busy. How much time do you have to be on social media in the evenings?
An hour to 2.
And is that something, a lot of adults are worried about kids using social media. Do you think that adults should or should not be worried about that, and why?
I feel like it's okay with monitors and stuff, but sometimes it's just too much of stuff.
What do you do when it gets to be too much?
I'll take a break.
Take a break. And what about technology at school? So obviously not social media. Tell me about how technology has helped you learn at school.
We use our Chromebooks a lot.
How do they help you learn?
We use Classroom and we use a bunch of stuff and we use the internet to research stuff.
All right, another question for you about school. Do you have any adult mentors at school or any adults who have helped you be really successful?
Most of the time, it's a lot of my coaches that I find that I talk to the most and stuff like that. But other than that, not really.
That's okay. Your coaches sound supportive. That's great. You have them. All right, Charlotte, one final question for you. You're about to enter high school. What advice would you give someone who's about to enter middle school?
Just be yourself and listen to your teachers and do the best you can do, but don't stress about it too much.
Cool. Charlotte, so nice to meet you. Thanks for coming and sitting down with me today.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Learning Can't Wait podcast. If you like what you heard, please rate, review, and share this episode. Be the first to know when we have a new episode by subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or have a suggestion for an episode, email us at podcast@fullmindlearning.com.